allegations of whether someone had usurped the legacy or the name. It could be relief now for EPS because the Supreme Court, where right now that petition was being heard, Supreme Court has said, we have affirmed the High Court's judgment and we have made that our earlier interim order, which was in July, stands absolute. We need to make it clear again that those submissions have been made assailing the resolutions, and in counter to that, they've been attempted to justify resolutions, but we haven't chosen to consider that. We leave all the objections and rebuttals of the parties open, not found it necessary to deal with the impediment allegations. So in case of any grievance, they have the right to go to an appropriate forum. So for EPS, this clearly has been, remember, a big relief, because EPS and OPS have been fighting at each other about who really will take the legacy and will head the AIADMK after the death of Jaya. There was Sasikala issue briefly, but it was and had been between EPS OPS, and there has been infighting going on, even though for cameras there were also eyes. So it's now it appears that as per the Supreme Court, it's the High Court judgment that still stands absolute. So that impediment petition is not going to go ahead. But in case there is still grievance, they can go and approach an appropriate forum. Let me now bring in Pramod Madhav for the latest on that. I remember that O. Selvam had said that it is EPS who has, without constitution, without following protocol, have taken over the AIADMK General Secretary position. But clearly it appears that that would not stand. The EPS remains as the General Secretary.
Like legal battles fought between EPS and OPS, all are come in favor of EPS only. This is the last one. It's a very important because this is actually going to determine who is going to be the leader of AIADMK from now on. In fact, we are currently at OPS residence where there is nothing but empty chairs only over here. All kind of celebrations are occurring at AIADMK headquarters. This is very important because on one side, EPS decided to go ahead and become the actual General Secretary of the party, while OPS wanted to just continue the dual leadership. That itself kind of showed that who's having the majority. Right now, EPS is enjoying absolute majority with the General Council members and the MLAs, and this is what it seems to have also been decided by the court as well at this juncture. So it is definitely going to be a celebratory moment for EPS, who has amidst the campaigning in E-Road, and earlier also he very clearly made sure that he will be the interim General Secretary with absolute power, just like Jayalalitha before him,
yes,
who was the absolute power. Now it looks like everything is going in favor of Edappadi K. Palaniswamy.
What does this mean right now, Pramod, for the ground situation? Because it will be celebrations, as we can already see. Has it started for EPS, and is it going to escalate? But where does OPS stand now? Because this is going to be also embarrassment, legal route not helping him.
Well, when it comes to a party matters, there are two things OPS is contesting about. On one side, OPS is claiming that the actual party bylaws were not followed in convening the General Council meeting that was on June and July, and this is the only kind of support he has. But however, when it comes to majority, that is democracy, it is with Edappadi K. Palaniswamy, and that's the reason now also OPS camp says that they are not going to leave it anyway. None of them are over here, but they claim that they are going to go ahead and actually compete in authorities that could be the election commission and various sort. However, there also the actual support seems to be with EPS, because already the actual party's the symbol, that is twin leaves, which is of utmost importance. The party symbol is with EPS only, because the actual Presidium Chairman, his name is Tamil Magan Hussain, he is also with EPS camp. The actual fight is for this symbol only over here, and this is also with EPS, which was made clear by Election Commission while giving the symbol to EPS and choosing Tennerasi as a candidate for E-Road, even though OPS had tried to bring in their own candidate. That did not get valid, and he has to recall him back.
Pramod, please stay on with me. What Pramod is saying is very crucial. Remember, it was about those two-leaf symbol. That's going to be now with EPS, but he needs to also have ground support within the AIADMK, specifically ahead of the E-Road by-elections. Let's get in a legal perspective on that. India Today's Kanu Sharda joining me. What does this mean, Kanu, when Supreme Court says that there's already been a High Court judgment? That remains absolute, but you can still approach to other appropriate forums if you have a grievance.
Well, Pooja, the today's order has
Yes.
made it clear that EPS will continue as the interim secretary, and the July 11 meeting, which was the bone of contention of the entire litigation, is correct. Which means that in a longer term, the issue of the party leadership, which on an overall scene will get sorted out. As far as the symbol issue is concerned, this will also go back to the EPS faction, and February 27th we will have a by-poll election in the Erode constituency, which will see the repercussions. And though the candidate chosen for that Erode constituency was a common one, but yes, today's order will have a much larger implication on the by-polls which are scheduled to take on February 27th.
So, Kanu, does this mean that, do we call this a relief, a victory for Palanisamy? Or, what do you think really will be now the position for EPS as the General Secretary of AIADMK?
See, the whole issue has started soon after, there was a crisis in the party soon after the death of former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Jayalalitha, and the two factions were created, EPS and OPS. The whole issue was that who controlled basically the party. And remember that Sasikala has also filed a separate suit in the Madras High Court, which is still pending, staking the claim over the party. So the whole issue which was today decided was only on the point of whether the July 11 General Council meeting which was held was valid in the eyes of law, because it was contended that the certain bylaws which were supposed to be amended was not presented before the General Council meeting, and also the 15 days prior notice before conducting the General Council meeting should have been, have not been given on time. So all these contentions were today raised by the OPS faction, was dismissed, and EPS faction had got major relief from the Supreme Court.
So, Kanu, because it's a legal order that has come, and the technicality in the language as well, do break it down for us exactly what the court said.
Court has categorically said that we had upheld the Madras High Court order, which is the Madras High Court Division Bench order, which had given relief to the EPS faction, saying that the General Council meeting was right, and that is what the Supreme Court has today affirmed. And for other issues, they have said that they will not get into it. And remember this, Pooja, there are several other cases which are pending for inside the party politics here. But the court today said that we are not going to deal with the inter-party politics which is happening.